Okay, so we will be doing a presentation on our statistics project called Meat versus Vegetables, as seen right here. Oh, our context. So, who are we targeting? We are targeting high school students. Now, what are we asking of them? We are asking for their opinion about meat and vegetables, as well as their eating habits involving those types of food. Where are we doing this? This is the GGUSD's, but more specifically, it's at Bolsa Grande High School. When? It is between the months of May to June and 2016. Why? We were interested to see if additional information would affect people's choice on questions pertaining to meat and vegetables. And how are we going to do this? We're going to ask people to take one or two surveys, one that's biased and one that's unbiased, in class or through Facebook.
Our anticipation for this project is that if more information is added to the question, then a bias will be formed towards eating meat and or both meat and vegetables.
All right, here are our neutral questions and our bias questions. Feel free to pause the video if you would like to read them. All right, so the sample space of the survey, 43.3% of the respondees are juniors, 26.7% are sophomores, 10% are freshmen, and 20% are seniors. So the first question, how often do high school students eat meat weekly? Now, most people, they generally eat meat more than 6 times a week. Now, when information was added saying that meat was important to their diet, more people picked the 6 plus option. And also, the number of people who eat meat 2 to 3 times a week decreased in the bias survey. Now, this could be due to the fact that meat being put in a positive light makes people more receptive into answering in favor of meat. On to the next question.
How often do high school students eat vegetables weekly? Well, many people eat vegetables at least 2 times a week. Vegetables, the amount of people who answered was lowered to 4 to 5 and 6 plus times decreased. Because vegetables were seen in a negative aspect, the students' choices were more divided.
All right. All right. How many high school students refuse to eat meat? Not many people know someone that does eat meat, which is basically someone that's a vegan. The majority of them knowing at least 1 to 2. Now, information was provided that meat was a valuable source of energy, and more people answered that they knew someone that did. This can be due to them wanting to get that person help knowing of the consequences. This which improves their thinking process.
How many high school students refuse to eat vegetables? The responses were pretty divided for this question. When given the reason for people choosing not to eat vegetables, the amount of people that knew none decreased. This could be due to the fact that the negative factor provoked something in their memory to know someone that does, possibly associating someone with that stereotype of vegetables lacking in taste.
All right. Do high school students prefer meat or vegetables more? Now, a lot of people they say that they eat both meat and vegetables regularly. It could be a majority of meat or a majority of vegetables, but it's just a combination of both. When provided that it was beneficial to being eating both, the amount of people who chose to eat both increased. This could be due partly because they want to be a part of the group that yields the most positive response slash results.
So, summary of our findings. We found that high school students have a preference for eating meat. While they also like vegetables a fair amount, when given a survey with biased wording, the results leaned more towards eating meat. The wording bias affected people's responses greatly towards vegetables, as it made those choices more unappealing, while making choices about meat look more appealing.
All right, further improvements. We could have created more questions for our survey that would have allowed us to gather more data. Those 5 questions right there, they were not the only ones that we could have asked. We could have asked a lot more questions, but we chose not to, sticking to this general 5. Now, if it had been now the population that we chose was 60. If it had been larger, then we would have yielded more results. Now, focusing on gender might have given us a more clear differential between responses, and the analysis of the data it could have been improved on. giving more details, more numbers, things like that. But overall, everything was alright with little improvements necessary.
Our personal opinions for this experiment. We think that by adding more information about meat and vegetables, we're able to slightly create a bias towards eating meat. However, we chose to receive answers about their grades, and it didn't have an effect on the choice because this survey pertains to classes. Not at all. We should have analyzed gender instead. Personally, knowing the extra information about the food that we eat helped to change our choices slightly.
Alright, so to conclude, high school students in general prefer to eat meat. However, because of biased wording, this caused their opinion to sway towards eating both meat and vegetables as they were seen in a more positive light. And that concludes our presentation.